Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Affordable Flyers, Bushliner's diesel-powered sport plane gains traction. SonX ships first round of kits for its Highwing design. Bristell celebrates a year on aviation regulators' good side. And a program announcement, Mosaic Unfiltered, a grassroots reality check. And I'm your host, Holland Lee. Welcome to Airborne Affordable Flyers, our programming designed to help you get and stay in aviation as affordably as possible. Overseen by the editorial staff of the award-winning Sport Plane Resource Guide, we know well the challenges faced by today's sport flyers, and we're here to help you enjoy flying to the utmost. Let's get into today's stories. Bushliner's diesel-powered sport plane gains traction. Bushliner's new backcountry airplane project is off to a great start, logging more than 130 reservations from 14 countries in just 7 days. About 2/3 of reservations came from states with strong bush, utility, or adventure flying cultures, including Texas, California, Alaska, Florida, Washington, Utah, and Idaho. The last third is spread across other U.S. states, Europe, and Oceania. With demand piling up, Bushliner is getting ready to sort out its factory capacity. Reservations are being slotted into production blocks offered in 2-year chunks, stretching from 2028 through 2040. The surge comes back-to-back with the announcement of Bushliner's formal partnership with DeltaHawk Engines, committing to a 100-engine integration program centered on the 350-horsepower DHK A6 turbo diesel. The engine's primary quirk is that it runs on Jet A and similar fuels, rather than your typical leaded avgas. Outside of that, it's a 6-cylinder compression ignition setup that's turbocharged and supercharged to serve the utility market. Certification of this 350-horsepower variant is targeted for 2027. This unique engine is being paired with an equally unique airplane. The Bushliner 1850 has a design gross weight of 4,200 pounds, with a roughly 2,000-pound useful load, cruising at around 150 knots and burning about 15 gallons per hour. Stall speed is projected near 40 knots, with a range north of 1,000 nautical miles. After the break, Amazon entrepreneur takes a $20 million swing at personal aviation.
Direct Fly USA proudly introduces the new Alto NG, a single-engine, 2-seat light sport aircraft for the North American market. This simple, all-metal aircraft design provides low maintenance cost, easy, comfortable access, and responsive flight controls. Equipped with a Rotax 912 engine and a ballistic parachute, the Alto NG is reliable and safe. Learn more about the Alto NG at directflyusa.com.
Welcome back. Now let's take a trip around the patch for some shorter stories. Amazon entrepreneur takes a $20 million swing at personal aviation. Greg Mercer made his money modernizing how people sell things online. Now he's using his fortune to attempt success in a far less forgiving industry, personal aviation. The Jungle Scout founder has created a clean sheet 4-seat aircraft dubbed the Skytron, targeting safer GA operations. The design that followed is fully digital fly-by-wire with flight envelope protection. The aircraft is being engineered to actively prevent stalls, overspeeds, excessive bank angles, and other inputs that typically precede loss of control accidents. Texas Aircraft leans on Mosaic for a new U.S. push. Texas Aircraft Manufacturing is planning to dive deeper into the U.S. market, and Mosaic is the biggest reason why. The manufacturer announced it will be aligning future development of its established Colt 100 design with the much-anticipated light sport framework in hopes of building on its domestic footprint. Texas Aircraft and its Brazilian sister company InPair are boosting coordination between their engineering and leadership teams to look at near and midterm updates to the Colt 100 SLSA. The key focus is on what Mosaic actually allows them to change. FAA draft plan for transition to unleaded avgas moves forward. Eagle, the Eliminate Aviation Gasoline Lead Emissions Initiative, announced that the FAA has released its draft transition plan to unleaded aviation gasoline and made it available for public comment. Pilots, aircraft owners, and other aviation stakeholders are strongly encouraged to review and comment on the draft. The draft plan is lengthy at 77 pages, but it highlights many of the technical, regulatory, and logistical challenges involved with changing from 100 LL to unleaded fuel. It can be reviewed at FAA.gov. Stolen van's RV-12 recovered in California. A Vans RV-12 stolen from Auburn Municipal Airport in Washington State has been found in California. A King County couple says authorities recovered their stolen aircraft at Corona Municipal Airport, ending a search of several days after thieves took the plane from Auburn early January 3rd. Megan McLaughlin and her husband discovered their plane missing Saturday morning from its tie-down spot at the Auburn airport just 6 months after purchasing the aircraft. About 2 minutes after the plane was stolen, the pilot turned off the transponder. That's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's get back to the rest of the news. SonX ships first round of kits for its Highwing design. SonX's long-awaited Highwing project is beginning to ship out a round of tail kits. Deliveries and factory pickups began mid-January, with orders scheduled to roll out through mid-February as the company transitions to fuselage and quick-build kit production. With step 1 out of the way, customers with existing reservation deposits or buyers jumping in now can place fuselage and QB orders to lock in earlier delivery slots. The pace of flight testing has slowed for the Wisconsin winter. SonX says that sub-zero temperatures and heavy snow in Oshkosh forced a pause shortly after the last update, so the team pivoted to finishing work and refinements on the taildragger UL Power-equipped prototype instead of flying. That downtime hasn't been wasted. Many notable changes have already made their way into the airframe. Fuel capacity became a focus during that period. SonX installed auxiliary 5-gallon wing tanks in each wing root, bringing total fuel to 30 gallons. The gravity-fed setup is intentionally simple, with vented caps tucked neatly under small aluminum access doors. Aerobatics prep has also continued. Door jettison hardware is now installed in the prototype, using an internal hinge and cable design that avoids the drag and clutter seen on some legacy aerobatic trainers. The system will be optional for builders and easy to retrofit later. Bristell celebrates a year on aviation regulators' good side. Bristell flew through 2025 with a rare streak of international aviation regulators saying yes to it, racking up certifications across Europe and the U.S., while picking up airshow awards and expanding into new markets. One of the biggest milestones came in Europe, where the Rotax 912 IS-equipped Bristell B23 earned EASA CS-23 certification. That approval significantly broadens the aircraft's appeal for flight training operations, officially allowing the B-23 to move beyond the ultralight and LSA space and into more traditional roles across the continent. On the U.S. side, Bristell logged its first FAA type certification in September 2025 with the Part 23 B-23. Nearly 100 B-23s were already operating stateside before certification, giving the approved version a solid foothold in the market. Bristell also leaned hard into performance upgrades. In December 2025, the B-23 became the first aircraft in the world to pair the 160-horsepower Rotax 916 IS engine with an EASA-certified CS-23 airframe. The turbocharged setup pushes the B-23 into higher altitude, hot and high, and glider towing territory, while still fitting within a well-known airframe for flight schools. The engine lineup now runs from the 100-horsepower 912 IS all the way up to the 916 IS. Durability got some attention too. Bristell extended the B-23's published airframe life to 12,000 hours, with testing underway to reach 20,000. And after these messages, a new program announcement: Mosaic Unfiltered, a grassroots reality check.
Well, hello, fellow pilot. I'm John King.
And I'm Martha King.
You know, we've all had our flying lives disrupted lately.
Well, King Schools is here to help you stay up to date with courses that you can access on your desktop, iPad, or iPhone. If you'd like a refresher or just want to expand your aviation horizons, we have a course for you.
So head over to kingschools.com/rusty today for details.
For over 30 years, the massive Sport Plane Resource Guide has provided expert, credible information, evaluations, and critical analysis of all that the sport aviation world has to offer. The all-new digital Sport Plane Resource Guide is coming with extensive multimedia features that are constantly updated, an even more comprehensive online guide to all things sport aviation. Available soon. www.sportplane.com.
Welcome back. Mosaic Unfiltered, a grassroots reality check. The FAA's Mosaic initiative represents one of the most significant regulatory shifts in modern sport and general aviation. Its implications will affect aircraft design, certification pathways, pilot access, training models, and the economic future of multiple market segments. Yet despite its importance, the Mosaic conversation remains fragmented, often driven by speculation, incomplete information, or promotional messaging rather than experience-based analysis. To address this gap, the Aero-News Network is launching a new long-form webcast and editorial initiative. The FAA's Mosaic initiative represents one of the most consequential regulatory shifts in modern sport and general aviation. Its impact will be felt across aircraft design, certification pathways, pilot access, training models, and long-term industry sustainability. Yet much of the current dialogue surrounding Mosaic remains fragmented, speculative, or driven by marketing narratives, rather than operational reality. Mosaic Unfiltered, a grassroots reality check, exists to change that. Produced by the Aero-News Network, the series delivers a clear-eyed, experience-driven examination of Mosaic in all its facets, grounded not in theory, but in decades of hands-on aviation involvement at every level of the industry. What makes this series different? This is not a policy discussion conducted at arm's length. Details about the new program will be published later this month, along with an initial webcast schedule. And that's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero News or Airborne. And don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching.